Okay, we're looking at Milestone Chat 2, Paper 2. Jibin baked fruit cakes and cheesecakes. 4 out of 7 of the cakes were fruit cakes. Okay, 308 of them were cheesecakes. How many cheesecakes did he bake? So like I told you already, you can calculate using fractions, but my favorite way would be still to draw model because it enables me to see what is happening. So I know that in total, there are 11 units, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, okay? Out of these 11 units, they told you 4 out of it were fruitcakes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is fruitcakes. And then the remaining, okay, has to be cheesecakes because he already said he only baked 2 types. So the remaining here has to be cheesecakes. And the cheesecakes would be 308. So how many cakes did he bake together? So whenever you use model, you always want to find out what is the value of one unit. So altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 units here is equivalent 308. So 1 unit would be 308 divided by 7. Your answer is 44. Now that you know there is 44, in total there are altogether 11 units. So therefore 11 units will be 44 times 11. Your answer is 484. Cakes. Okay? Next. There were some cones and 106 hula hoops in a PE storeroom. 22 cones were damaged and thrown away. Then the ratio of the number of hula hoops to the number of cones was 2:1. How many cones were there in the storeroom at first? Okay, so this ratio, we can use model to help us again. So hula hoops is 2 units. And then after that, cones was actually 1 unit, right? 2:1. So now what happened over here was that prior to this, 22 cones were actually being thrown away. Okay, so we're gonna put it here. Okay, now, so what actually happens over here is that the hula hoops didn't change in any way. So the hula hoops were 106. So we needed to find out what is 1 unit. So we know that 2 units here, 2 units here, because there's 1 and there's 2. 2 units is actually 106. 1 unit would be 106 divided by 2. Answer would be 53. Now this 53 is over here, correct? Because you have found 1 unit. But wait, you have to add the 22 because at first you threw away 22. So you have to add back these cones. So therefore 53 plus 22 and your answer will be 75. Okay? Next. A cuboid height of 19 cm has a square base. So because they are square base, that means this side is also 6 unit. 6 and 6. Okay, all sides are equal. Okay, what is its volume? So remember to find out volume, okay, it would be length times breadth times height. So the length of this is 6, the breadth of this is also 6. Where did I pull these 2 numbers? Length times breadth. And then my height is 19. Okay, so very straightforward. Okay, the answer for this will be 684. Nothing difficult, very straightforward. Next, the bar graph below shows the number of students who wear spectacles. The information for class 5D is missing. Okay, the average number of students who wear spectacles in the 4 classes, which means it includes 5D, is 12. How many students in 5D wear spectacles? So the first thing we need to do is to note down what are the numbers for each class. So this is 12. 5B is actually, so you look at the interval between these two. Okay, every interval is actually 2. So therefore this over here is actually 18. And then 5C is 8. So the one in question is 5D. So the first thing we want to ask ourselves is, what is the total? So how do we find the total? They tell you that the average is 12. So to find total, you will take 12 times 4. Why times 4? Because 1 class, 2 class, 3 class, 4 class. So after you've done that, your answer would be 48. Now that you know that the total is 48 over here, you need to subtract away these 3 classes in order to find out what is your 5D. Okay, so you can take 48 minus away 12, minus away 18, minus away 8. And your answer will be 10. So therefore your answer is 10. Next, at first the average amount of water in 2 pails A and B was 471. So you have 2 pails that is filled with water, but you don't know which has more. But the total was 471. Some water was then poured into B, and then the average of A and B, okay, became 976. How much water was poured into B? Okay. So the first thing you need to do, okay, I'm going to draw for you 2 buckets. So at first, what they mean is that you have bucket A and you have bucket B. Okay, now the average of it, okay, for these 2 is 471. My first question to ask is, what is the total? Okay, what is the total? So to find this total, I will need to take 471 times 2. Why times 2? Because there are 2 buckets. Okay, so when I multiply by 2, it becomes 942. Okay, now, then after that, they tell you, later on, they added some water. You don't know how much was added, but the average amount now has increased to 976. Correct? So now you want to find out what's the new total. So the new total, okay, in the end, right, okay, you need to take 976 times 2. And your answer will be 1952. Why times 2? Because once again, there are 2 buckets, but you added some water. Okay? Now what happens is that you want to find out how much water was added to B. You will take the new total, subtract away the old total. So 1952 minus away 942, your answer would be 1010. So your answer is 1010 cm cube. Okay? So it doesn't matter, you don't have to know how much water was in A and B and C, because they never ask you. They just ask you how much water was added to B. That's all. Okay, so to do that, you just take new total minus away old total. Very simple. 6. The mass of a stapler is 1/6 of the total mass of one such stapler and 10 identical erasers. Okay? Now, the total mass of 3 such staplers and 20 such eraser is 1560 gram. What is the mass of one such stapler? Okay, so to do this, right, remember we always need to eliminate one of the items. So we know that 3 stapler plus 20 eraser will give us 1560 gram. How do I know that? It's over here. Okay. So granted that we know that this is such things, okay, we can then look at this, okay. Now we can take we can take the mass of stapler as 1 unit, okay. We can take the mass of the stapler as 1 unit. Okay, maybe I'll make it a little easier by doing it this way. 1 second, okay. So we take the mass of one stapler as 1 unit. Okay. So the mass of 10 erasers would be 6 unit minus away 1 unit. Why? Because they tell you already one mass of one stapler is 1/6 of the total mass of one such stapler and 10 identical eraser. So if I were to draw this out in terms of model, right? So if let's just say this is actually my stapler, 1/6, right? Then the other ones, right, needs to be 2, 3, 4, 5. This has to be my 10 erasers, right? And then this is my stapler. So then it makes up your 6 units here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you all see it? So in short, my 10 erasers, okay, is 5 units and my stapler is 1 unit. So you can also say that one stapler has the mass of 2 erasers. Correct? Correct or not? Okay, so this is 5 units. Now, what is the mass of one such stapler? So, when we take a look at this, the total mass of 3 such staplers, if we take a look at over here, is actually 3 times 1 unit equals to 3 unit. And then after that, for your 20 such erasers, right? Okay, if you look at here, it's actually 5 units times 2. Equals to 10 units. Why? Why is that the case? Because you already know like I told you, with every 1 unit over here, you can also say that this is 2 eraser. Okay, 2 eraser, 2 eraser, 2 eraser. So if we want 20 erasers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we 5 times 2, correct? Because 10 erasers So 10 erasers is 5 units. So if I change this to 20, then I need to take 5 units times 2. So therefore, it gives me 10 units. Okay? So the total mass of this is 13 units. Now, why are we converting it to units? Because don't forget, we know what is the total amount of weight. So because of this, we know that 13U is equivalent to 1560. 1U, we can then find what is 1U. 1U, it is 1560 divided by 13. Your answer would be 120 grams. And 1U is just nice equivalent to 1 stapler, which is what they are asking for. Now, they have asked for the answer. Okay, they didn't ask for it in kg, so you can just straight away say that it's 120 grams. Okay? Next. Shop X and shop Y sold the same type of mugs as shown below. Mrs. Ota planned to buy 32 mugs from shop X. So we can make annotation 32. She changed her mind and bought the same type of mugs at a lower price from shop X. She saved $40 on the same number of mugs. How much did she pay for each mug? Okay? So to do this right, you need to first understand a few things. Okay? Let's take a look. What was the price that she had to pay at first for 8 such mugs? So we take 32 divided by 8. Okay? We would know that it's actually 4. She needs to buy 4 sets of this to get 32. Correct? So therefore, cost of mugs at X would have been 4 times $50. So your answer is 200. But did she actually pay 200? No. They said that she saved $40 by buying from shop Y. So now I want to know how much did she pay at shop Y. So cost of mugs at shop Y would be 200 minus away $40 because that is the amount of savings, right? And that is 160. So she paid 160 at shop Y for the same number of cups, 32. So they asked for how much did she pay for each mug. The total number of mugs was 32 mugs. So therefore, to find out the cost of each mug, okay, so 32 mugs would have cost 160. 1 mug would be 160 divided by 32. That will give us an answer of $5. So she paid $5. Okay, moving on to question number 8. The table below shows the price of tickets to watch a puppet show. The weekday price and the weekend price of a child's ticket is smudged with ink. A child's ticket costs $7.80 less on a weekday than on a weekend. Okay? Last Saturday, Mrs. Pong went to watch a puppet show with her 70-year-old father and her 8-year-old daughter. She paid a total amount of $56.60 for the tickets. If the family were to watch a show on Thursday, how much would Mrs. Pong have to pay? So, with that, right, let's take a look at this. So let's see each individual, how much do they pay. So Mrs. Pong, she is an adult and Thursday is a weekday. So she would have paid $11.50. Okay? And then after that, don't forget, she has a 70-year-old father. So 70-year-old father is 65, above 65, so he's considered senior citizen. He will have paid $8.50. So $8.50, right? Now, what about her daughter's ticket? Okay? So in this case, Okay. Over here, excuse me. Okay, so in this here, right, you want to know what is the weekday price, correct? So in this case, what you need to do is you first need to take excuse me, sorry. Hold on, the weekday price, the weekend price merge. Did they say last Saturday? Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, my apologies. That's why I was looking at it, I was a bit puzzled. Okay, sorry. Okay, yes. So, Mrs. Pong will have paid, Mrs. Pong will have paid $24. And then the father will have paid $18. Okay, sorry. Okay, now it makes sense. So she paid $56.60 for all the tickets. So you want to know what is the daughter's, correct? How much did she pay for her daughter on the weekend? You will take $56.60, subtract away these two. So subtract away 24, subtract away 18, and your answer would be $14.60. So this is the price for the daughter on a weekend. This one weekend, Now, if let's just say they want to go for a show on Thursday, how much would she have to pay for the daughter's ticket? So it was said here that a child's ticket costs $7.80 less. So this is weekend pricing for the daughter, right? So we need to take $14.60, subtract away $7.80. So that will leave us with $6.80. Okay? Alright, moving on. Okay, at Shiny Sparkle store, the usual price of a necklace was this amount. During a sale, Loris bought the necklace at a discount of 38%. As Loris was a member of the store, she was given an additional 15% off the price of the necklace after the 38%. How much did she pay for the necklace in the end? So first, we want to find out what is the remaining percentage that she paid. That will be 100% subtract away 38%. And that will leave us with 62%. So she paid 62%. So the next thing we want to know is what exactly is 62% of this amount, because this is the original price. So remember left hand right hand rule, okay? We want to find out real amount of money. So the real amount of money is 1290 and the percentage in question is 62%. Okay? So we do our usual calculation, all right? Cancel. Okay, you will get 799.8. Okay, so 799.8, this is the amount that is 62%. Now, on top of that, she was given an additional 15%. So therefore, you need to take 799.8, subtract another 15. Where did I get the 15 from? Because she got an additional of 15%, $15 discount. And that will set us back at 784.8. Now remember to write your statement and your answer, you need to include the dollar sign, and don't forget, because it's money, it has to be 2 decimal points. So the necklace cost 784.80. Okay? And that's how you do it. Okay. Moving on to next question. Next question. All right. Next question. To make a special hair clip, the ratio of a length of yellow ribbon used to that of a brown ribbon and white ribbon is 4:3:1. So what I will do is, usually I'll write it above. So yellow, brown, and white. Okay? Annotate. You have to learn how to annotate. Please do not take a shortcut on this because you will have trouble understanding later. Now the length of the brown ribbon used for one hair clip is 12 centimeter. What is the length of the yellow ribbon used to make 1001 such hair clips? Okay, so first we need to know what is the real amount. So the real amount to make one hair clip, okay, for brown ribbon is 12 cm. So let's write this out. Yellow is to brown is to white. 4:3:1. So if my brown is 12, so that means I want 12 here. How did I actually get 12 here? I actually need to multiply by 4. Very good. So if I multiply by 4 here, I will also need to multiply by 4 for my white and multiply by 4 for my yellow. Okay, when that is the case, it becomes 16:12:4. Now what is the length of yellow ribbon needed to make 1100? So then now I know to make one ribbon, for yellow I need to have 16. So therefore now this is for one ribbon. So if one ribbon is 16, then 1100 ribbon, it would be 16 times 1100, okay? And your answer would be 17600, okay? Now be careful, they want it in meters. This is actually in cm. So 17600 cm, when you convert into meters, don't forget, the conversion is actually 1 meter is 100 cm. So to do this, we will need to actually divide this by 100. So we shift our decimal points 2 times. 1 time, 2 times. So it's actually 176 meter. Answer 176. Okay? Moving on. Next. This question. 4 persons went for a buffet dinner during a promotion shown below. They shared the bill equally. That's the key point. How much did each person pay after including the 7% GST? Round off your answer to the nearest dollar. So there is a few things that you need to do. Now, it says here, for every 4 person, the 4 person eats for free. Okay? Now, and it's $58 per person, does not include GST. So even though we know that there is actually 4 person eating, we only need to pay for 3. Because it says for the 4 person, it is free. So therefore, the price is 58. Okay, so therefore the first step is 58 times 3. So 58 times 3 in this case, your answer would be 174. So 174 is the price that they paid, total price that they paid before GST. Then you have the with GST, what is the amount? So don't forget, with GST, we want the real amount now. So the real amount is 174, but the percentage that we want in this case is not 7%, it's 107%. Where did this 7 come from? This is actually the GST. Okay? So 100% is 174. 107% would be 186.18. Okay, so this is actually the price with GST. But wait, then they say each person. So we next have to then take 186.18 divided by 4. By 4 and not by 3 because there are 4 persons. you will get 46 point, 1 second, let me calculate this. This one can use calculator. 46.54. Now, the question here is, they wanted you to round off to the nearest dollar. So the nearest dollar is over here. We need to look at the number that is before that to round off. If the number before it is 5 or more, we round up. So because this is a 5, we round up. And then the approximation of this price would be $47. That is your answer. Because we look at the number before, which is, if it's 5 and above, we round up. Below 5, we round down. Okay, and when we say we round down, it just means that we keep it to that number. We don't increase the number that's after that. Okay, so $47. Alright? Okay. Next question. Okay. Now this question is a bit more complicated, so please listen very carefully. A group of women and men took part in a quiz that consisted of 2 rounds. 3/5 of the women and 2/5 of the men were not selected, okay, for second round. A total of 900 women and men were not selected for second round. The number of women who were not selected was the same as the number of men who were not selected. Okay? So once again, women who were not selected was the same as the number of men who were not selected. Were there more women or more men who were selected for the second round? So how do we go about doing this? We know that a total, okay, of 900 women and 900 men were not selected. They told you that they are actually the same number. See? Same. So we write down. Not selected woman is actually 450. How do I know? Because 900 divided by 2 is 450. Why divide by 2? Because 900 is the total number, okay, of men and women not selected, and they are the same. And then not selected for men, it is also 450. Okay? Next, we draw model to help us understand. Okay? So based on model, it says here, if my woman is, okay, this amount here, okay, it says that 3/5 of the women and 2/3 of the men. So that means this is actually okay, 2/3. This is woman and this is men. So it says here that 3/5 of the woman. So how many units do I shape for the woman? How many units? 3/5. So how many? 3. Not selected is red color. NS not selected. And then after that, 2/3 of the men. This part not selected. Okay? Were there more men or women? So very simple. When you look at this, what can you do? You make the numerator equivalent. Remember? So we learned that method before. So if we take a look at this 3 units to 2 units, what is a common multiple? The common multiple is actually 6. So how do I actually, okay, make 2 units become 6 units? I divide by 3. Correct? So I will cut this this way, and I will cut this way. So now count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? And then I go ahead and continue cutting the same way. So every 1 unit of the woman, I'll cut into 2 parts. Every 1 unit of the man, I will cut into 3 parts. Can you see? I cut 1 part into 3 parts, and then I cut this 2 units into 4 parts. So if you look at the part that is not selected, which one has more units? The woman. Okay? So the first answer, were there more women or men who were selected for the second round? Okay, your answer would be woman. Why? Because there is 4 units of selected women and 3 units of selected men. Do you see it? Okay, it is very evident. Then after that, they say, find the total number of men and women who took part in the quiz. Very easy. Because this is 450. So we know that, count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units equals to 450. Okay, 6U equals to 450. So 1U would be 450 divided by 6. Your answer will be 75. Now, how many units are there in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay? So in total, there are 19 units. So 19 units will be 75 times 19, answer 1425. Okay, so 1,425 men and women took part in the quiz, and that is how you solve it, the power of a good model. Okay, moving on to question 13. Spencer, Nigel and Greta shared the cost of a massage chair for their mother. Spencer paid 2.9 of the total cost of the massage chair. Nigel paid 5.8 of what Spencer paid. Altogether, Spencer and Nigel paid 7.93. How much did Greta pay? So to do this kind of question, I always recommend to my student that the easiest way would be to do a model. So we're going to draw a nice big model for us to start with. Okay, and not be too worried about what the back says. So he paid 2.9 of the total cost, right? So it means that we're going to have to divide our model into 9 parts first. Okay, as equal as possible. Now, Spencer paid 2.9, so this is Spencer. And then Nigel paid 5.8 of what Spencer paid. So Spencer paid 2 units, right? But they wanted 8 units here, 8 parts, 8 units. So how do we change 2 into 8? Well, the common part here is actually, right, we'll divide each part by 4. Okay, so therefore, we're going to take 1 unit and then we're going to divide it by 4. So now it gives us 8. Right? 5, 8. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually what Nigel paid. And then the total cost of what Spencer and Nigel paid was 793. So to solve this problem, we need to also do the same for every single unit. We divide it into the equal parts. So we know that every 1 part was divided into, every 1 unit was divided into 4 parts. So we can use a number 4 to represent it, okay, for easy calculation. So we know that in total, over here, 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. There are 13 parts. So we know that 13 parts would be 793, right? So one part would be 793 divided by 13. Okay. So 793 divided by 13, your answer is 61. So how much did Gretel pay? So in this case, the total units parts over here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Don't forget you need to add this 3 over here. So total 23. So 23 parts would be 61 times 23. And your answer would be 1403. Alright. Next. The bar graph below shows the number of reusable masks by 5 classes to a children's home. Every pupil in each class donated either 2 or 3 masks. Okay? So you don't know. Which class donated the number of the masks that is closest to the average number of masks donated by all 5 classes? So the first thing we're going to have to do is to find out how much each class donated, right? So we will have to take reference from, okay, the graph. Now, to do that, we're going to need to find out each interval. How much is each interval? Okay, so to do that, very simple. We find out what's the difference between the two numbers first, and that will be 40. And how many intervals are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that there are 8 intervals, and the difference is 40. So we know that each interval here is 5, right? So this is 85. Okay, so every interval is plus 5. Okay, so with that, we are able to very easily find out what is the number. So for 5E, the first one, okay, the answer will be 85. For 5D, it will be 90. For 5C, your answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 145. 5B would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 as well. Okay. 105. And 5A would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. So this would be 65. Okay. So in total, we would be able to find out all this, right? Okay. Next, we are going to have to total up what is the amount of all this mask. So for A, it's going to be 65 plus 105 plus 145 plus 90 plus 85. The total is 490. To find the average, you would then take 490 divided by 5 classes equals to 98. So the one that is actually closest in this case would be 5B. Okay, because it's just 7 students away. Okay, so 5B. Okay. And then after that, for B, there are 38 pupils in 5E. Some of them donated 3 masks. Okay. How many pupils donated 3 masks each? Okay, so to solve for this question, we're going to actually have to do some number, we're going to have to actually make some assumption. Okay, so we will assume that all 38 pupils donated 2 masks each. Okay, so if that is the case, then you should have a total donation of 76. That, however, was not the actual case because the actual case is that there was only 85 masks. So the difference would be 85 divided by minus 76 is 9. So what I then need to do now is that I need to take this 9 divide by 3 minus 2. Okay, the reason why is because in actual fact that did not happen, and my answer would be 9. Okay, so this is the assumption method that we have learned before. Okay, next, a cubicle tank aged 17 cm was filled with water to a height of 3 cm. Okay, over here, a rectangular tank Y, which is this one, measuring 41 by 36 by 27 cm, was also filled with some water. The water level in tank Y, okay, was the same as the height of tank X. That means this level is the same as this whole height. What was the volume of tank X at first? Okay, so to do this is very straightforward because they told you it is a cubical tank, right? So in this case, we know that if this is 17, this is also 17. So therefore, to find the volume of water at tank X, all we need to do is we take 17 times 17 times 3. And your answer will be 867. Okay, be careful to write your units. Okay, cm cube. Now, then they say all the water in tank X was poured into tank Y without any spilling. How much more water had to be poured into tank Y so that the water was 2 cm from the top? Okay, so this is really a little bit complicated, but let's attempt it. Okay, now, so the first thing we need to find out is what was the volume of water that is in tank Y. What is this volume of water? So to do that, we will take volume of water in Y at first. It would be 41 times 36 times 27. So my answer will be 25092. Then the next thing is I want to find out what is the total volume of water when this volume was added to this volume. Okay, I'm going to erase away some lines, okay, because it's just too messy. Okay, we want to next find out when this volume of water was added to this, what is the total volume of water in the tank. Okay, so the next one is X plus Y, the volume of it. So this is 25092. I got it from here. I then need to add it over here. Okay, plus 867. My answer would be 25959. Now, then after that, I need to know what is the volume of water that needs to be in this tank when it's 2 cm from the top. So at the top it is 27. I need to find out what is this length here when it is 2 cm from the top. This is 2 cm. So I will take, so when it's 2 cm from the top, that means this is 27, subtract away 2. So that would be 25, correct? So the height of this would be 25. So therefore, I want to find out the volume of water. Required. Okay, that would be 25 times 36 times 41. 36 and 41. And then my answer will be 36,900. Okay, and then now I will take what is required subtracted with what I have to find out what is the amount of water needed. Would be 36900 minus away 25959. My answer would be 10941. And make sure you give your units. Okay? Next. A table below shows the amount of money Lucy saved from January to April. Lucy had a monthly allowance of $90. Her goal was to save 1/6 of all her allowance from January to May. What was the amount should she save to meet her goals? Okay, so to do this, we first need to find out what is her goal, correct? So to do that, right, we know that every month she has $90. So we need to first find out what is $90. What is 1/6 of $90, and then multiply it by 5 months. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So therefore, her goal, first you need to find out what is 1/6 times 90, and then you need to multiply this by 5. Your answer would be 75. So $75, okay, is what she would need to save, okay, for the entire of this 5 months. Now, we need to find out what is the total of this 4 months that she has saved, in order to find out how much she will need to save in the month of May minimally. Okay, so from January to May, she have saved a total of 16 plus 12 plus 14 plus 17, and your answer would be 59. So 59 is what she saved so far. So how much more will she need to hit her goal of 75? So you take 75 minus away 59, your answer will be 16. So she will need to save $16 here minimally. Okay? Make sure you key in your units. Okay. Now, Lucy managed to save 72. She spent some of her savings on a present and 3/5 of the remainder on a pair of earphones. Okay. She was left with 3/10 of her savings. how much money did she spend on the present. So to do that, we can use a model to help us. So we know that she spent a certain amount on the present, right? We don't know how much. Okay, and then she said that she spent 3/5 of the remainder. So there's some money remaining. Okay, out of this remaining, we have to divide it into 5 parts because she said 3/5. So 3 units was spent on earphones. Okay, and then after that she was left with 3/10 of her savings, correct? This part here is 3/10. So we need to know what is this 3/10 of savings. Okay, so her saving was 72. So let's calculate what is the real amount in what is 3/10 of savings. So 3/10 times 72, right? Okay, 72. Okay, your answer would be 21.6. So you know that this is actually 21.6. Now, so granted that you know that in total there is actually 5 units in total. So we want to calculate what is 1 unit. So we know that 2U is 21.6. Okay, how do we know that from here? So 5U would actually be 1U would actually be 21.6 divided by 2. Your answer would be 10.8. So 1U is actually 10.8. The total amount that she spent here is actually 5U. Okay, so 5U would be 10.8 times 5. Your answer, will be $54. So that means you want to find how much is your present. Since the total amount of savings that she has is actually 72, you can subtract away the 54 that she spent on the earphones and the amount that she's left with. Your answer will be 18. Okay, moving on to the last question. Okay, at first there were some girls in the hall. 7 of the 10 girls then left the hall. After some time, 1/5 of the remaining girls then left the hall. What fraction of the girls remain in the hall in the end? So to solve this problem, I would suggest that we use a model. So we draw ourselves a nice big model to work with. Now they tell you that at first, okay, there were 10 units, correct? So we will divide this by 10. Five. Okay, 7 of the girls left the hall. So we know that 7 of them left the hall. Okay, sorry. 7 here, 7. Okay, they left. Okay, after some time, 1/5 of the remaining girl left the hall. So if you take a look at over here, we have to change this into 5 units. How can we do this? Okay, we know that between 5 and 3, the smallest common multiple is actually 15. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take each one unit and we're going to have to divide it into 5, right? Okay, but we can't do that because, we can do that, but for us to draw 5 will be very tedious. So what we can do instead is to write the number of parts for each unit. So this is actually times 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5, right? So what happens here is, now that we have made the parts so-called equivalent by changing the dividing the number of units, okay, into 5 parts, we will also need to change. So instead of 1/5 of the remaining girls left the hall, we know that we will need to multiply by 3, and it's actually 3 out of 15 of the remaining girls left the hall. So what fraction of the girls remained in the hall in the end? So the total parts in this case would actually be 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times 5. And that would leave me with 50. Okay? Now, at the last part here, we know that there are 15 units. And out of this 15 units, 3, units of the girl left. 3 parts left. So that leaves us with actually 15 minus 3, that would be 12 parts. Okay, so 12 parts remained in the hall. Okay, so in the end, we know that we have 12 units remaining. So it's 12 out of 50 parts. Okay, so then we will need to simplify this. Becomes 1/6. So answer 1/6. Oh, sorry. My mistake. Divide by 2 is actually 6/25. My bad. Okay, that's the answer. This is for A. Now for B, they said after recess, 512 girls entered the hall. The total number of the girls in the hall was twice the total number of the girls at first. How many girls are there in the hall at first? So in this case, we need to look at here. Okay, we know that in total, they said that they asked how many girls were there in the hall at first. Okay, so for part B, this 352, it was said that 352 girls entered the hall, right? So what we understand is that this whole entire unit of model is actually 50 parts, correct? Now, so if you say 2 times, that would be 100 parts. But 100 parts is not equivalent to 352 because we mustn't forget that there was 12 parts of the girls that actually remained in the hall already. So these 12 parts cannot be counted towards the 100 parts. So what we need to do is we need to take 100 parts, okay, subtract away these 12 parts. This 12 parts over here that was already remaining in the hall. So that leaves us with 88 parts. So this 88 parts is the one that actually is equivalent to 352 girls. So therefore 88 parts is 352. One part would be 352 divided by 88. And your answer would be 4. Now, because they told you already that right at the beginning, ours is 50 parts, the whole thing, okay? So therefore, I only want to know what is 50 parts. So 50 parts will be 4 times 50, and that will give me 200. And the answer is 200. That's it.